In one of the episodes, Dr. Watson was approaching Sherlock, and he was at the time meditating, like sitting like this, and and Dr. Watson tells him, Sherlock, what are you up to? And he goes, I'm in the palace of my mind. Hello, everyone. This is Özkan Zeri, and it's June 13th, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm going to be talking about growth mindset in my own understanding, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of what I understand from growth mindset. I twisted the topic a bit. I prefer to call this session One Fine Mind, because when you Google it, you will not find any topic like this. Every day, thousands of books are being written, and I think of something, I Google it, and the book is already written. I was able to find one topic which doesn't exist. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. But before we start, I'll try to wake myself up and wake you guys up. I'm here to wake you up in the next hour or so, and I'll also try to wake myself up. And I'll start with a short story that I love telling. There's this elderly gentleman. He knocks on the door of his son. The son is called Jaime. Jaime, wake up. You got to get up. And Jaime responds from his red bedroom. He goes, I don't want to get up, Papa. I don't want to wake up. And the father says, Jaime, get up. You got to go to school. And Jaime says, I don't want to go to school, Papa. Why not? The father asks. And Jaime responds, it's dull. All the kids at school, they tease me, and I hate school. And the father at the door responds, now I give you 3 reasons why you should get up, wake up, and go to school. First, it's your duty. Second, you're 45 years old. And third, you are the headmaster. Are we going to wake up? Are we going to be the master of our mind? So today's session is about waking up. Awareness is waking up. Are we all here and now? I hope so. And let's keep the ball rolling. We don't want to grow up, really. We want to stay in kindergarten. Being an adult, it's a bit scary sometimes, huh? And most of the time, we have to. And we have to change before we have to. And we have to get up and go to that school. Remember, the only constant is, any ideas? Like this? Oops, sorry. Welcome to Istanbul. For those of you visiting Istanbul, the only constant is change. Yes, you were right about it. And welcome to Istanbul, and let's go. Heraclitus, 26 centuries ago, now ancient city of Ephesus. Back then it was modern trade center. And he was the philosopher at the time. He said, the only constant is change. And he also said, you cannot swim in the same river twice. That's quite interesting, because the water is flowing. Everything is in flow. Nothing stands still. The water is flowing, and I am changing. It's not the same river as yesterday, and I'm not the same person as I was yesterday. And same applies to you. I'm sorry, but we're changing. Every 7 years, all the cells in our body, they keep changing and changing, although we don't want to accept the change. We'll see. Are you someone who knows or someone who learns? Today is about learning. We don't want to be Mr. Know-it-all. We want to be Mr. and Mrs. Learn-it-all. Mindset, a growth mindset, is a learner mindset, and we're going to dive into this in the next hour. So we want to be learners. He's my master from 25 centuries ago again, and you will see me next to his deathbed. That's me in the corner. And how would I say? If he says so, the only thing I know is that I know nothing, then I will be his disciple and I will be his student. I'm here to tell you that I know nothing, and I'll see what I'm going to share with you. But it's a freedom. Accepting the fact that we don't know is a perfect start point. Let's go. If he's dead now, but we are not, we're still hanging around in this beautiful planet, is the game over for us? No, not yet. Thank you. The game is not over. We're not at the final station. The journey is on. We exist, and to exist is to change. And to change is to mature. And to mature is to keep on creating yourself endlessly. I'd like to phrase, keep on creating yourself endlessly. Just a quick look at what I have been doing with my life. It's more than 3 decades right now. I'm in the professional business world. For 2 decades, I was a finance guy. I was a CFO for public companies. I was a banker, international banker. And something happened on the way. And I was on stage for a theater performance. And theater has been a huge catalyst for my personal transformation and also my professional transformation. And what happened afterwards? A couple of plays. It's been more than 10 years now, that point of change, transformation. I've been attending acting workshops in Turkey and all around the world. I've met beautiful souls, talented people, and I kept learning. I quit finance. I got on stage, started delivering workshops and trainings. 5 years ago, I switched lanes to giving keynote speeches. Is the game over? Not yet. Next week, for the first time in my life, this is true by the way, not next week, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we will be shooting my first ever movie. I'll be playing in a short movie, and I'll be the leading cast, and it's an experience for me. I don't know what's going to come out of it. Who has been to Galata Tower? I know that people from Istanbul are here as well. Galata district is where the musical instruments are being sold. And not this weekend, because I'll be shooting the movie, but the week after, I'm going to go to Galata. I'm going to buy my first ever trumpet. I'm going to try. I'm going to dare to try playing the trumpet. And if you invite me next year, probably I will start my talk by blowing a few notes with my trumpet. Hopefully. Maybe yes, maybe no. But it's all about daring to try something new. I don't want to sabotage myself. Let's put it this way. Self-sabotage and self-disrupt are 2 different things. It's a huge process for 10 years now. It wasn't so easy. Like I was on stage and I changed my life. No, you keep practicing and you do stuff. We have to avoid sabotaging ourselves, but we have to pick the way of self-disruption. Why? Personally, professionally, as a company, as a society, group of people working towards the mission, working towards a goal, we have to deliberately decide to disrupt ourselves and to come up something with new. This is your life. This is your challenge. I mean, you're in the business world. You have every day many challenges. One finishes, the next one comes. What's going to happen? It's going to keep on coming and coming. We have to adapt. We have to change. And we have to disrupt ourselves as a person, as a professional, as a company. Most of you must have seen this plateau, a giant company coming up. If they don't really reform and find something new, then they're going to go down the hill. We have civilizations in history ruling the world, extinct. We have world giant companies, extinct. Because they didn't create themselves, because they couldn't find a new self. Disrupt and grow is the name of the game. It's not what you know. It's not your intelligence. It's your attitude. Are you a Mr. Know-it-all or Mrs. Learn-it-all? Your attitude will define your altitude. I know we are all judges, and we have to be a judger in a sense. I know we have fixed ideas, we have to have them, but I prefer that I might be able to give you some clues that you switch on a learner mindset, on a growth mindset, and on a multiplier mindset. I'll talk about it. It's now time that we start our speech. Thank you for this introduction. I'm going to be using 3 pillars throughout this presentation. To me, a growth mindset, a learner mind. It has to have 3 qualities. It has to be creative, first of all. I'm going to talk about these 3 pillars of this talk. It has to be adaptive, and it has to be positive. And throughout the talk, I'm going to refer to 3 books that I chose for today. They are more than 10 years old. I love them. And these are the books that I'm going to talk about briefly. I'm going to give you some clues, and I hope you'll be digging to them later on. First of all, I'm going to talk about Stanford professor Carol Dweck, she's talking about growth mindset. It became very popular 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more. You have seen it somewhere on social media, everywhere. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So it's always versus. With the multipliers, it's, are you a multiplier leader? This book is about leading people, managing people. Are you a diminisher or a multiplier? So fixed mindset versus growth mindset. With the book Multipliers, it's talking about, are you a diminisher or a multiplier? And lastly, I'm going to talk about change your questions, change your life. It's very similar to a growth mindset of Carol Dweck. Actually, they have written the book. In 1998 was the first book, but in the 2000s they made another book. So it's, are you a judger by nature or a learner? Well, I'm going to talk about these books throughout the talk. Let's start with the first pillar, creative. In order to have a one fine mind, the first quality that I'm asking that we have to possess, I have to possess, is being creative. I'd like you to imagine that you open your eyes and you find yourself in a room. You don't know the room. You don't know where you are. And you're surrounded by people. You don't know them. And they start talking. You don't understand a clue. You don't understand one word they're saying. How would you feel, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Frustrated. Any ideas? Curious. Excited. And anything else? Anxiety, fear. I think this speech is ending itself because curious and excited were the two answers I was waiting for, so I'm talking in vain. But the thing is, all of us, me and you and all of us in this room have been in this situation. Any idea? Sorry? Oh, yes. And see what, I have a gift for you. And this is coming your way. Thank you. Open your eyes, for this world is only a dream. This is coming from Rumi. And yes, the first time we were born, we opened our eyes. We knew nobody. We didn't know the room we were in. Life is the great master. I love this. I love saying this. I will not stop saying this. Always trying to guide us. Always trying to give us lessons. Always trying to teach us. Come what may. What happened to this curious explorer? What's happened to the baby? When did we shut down, really? When did we start having anxiety, having some sort of fear? Come what may. Beginner's mind, here and now, with full spectrum. Are we awake? Am I awake? Are we here? Awareness, awareness. I think most of the people in the room know his quote very well. He said, every child is born an artist. Keep that artist within you alive when you're growing up, when you're maturing, right? Yeah. What happens? He lived a long life. He has huge quantities of production. Paintings, sculptures, unbelievably hardworking person. Somewhere throughout his career, I think it was, let's say, the middle of his career, he started something new. He remained as a child. His early sketches were excellent. Everybody was admiring. Oh, Picasso paintings, they were wonderful. And they started criticizing him. What's this guy doing? Did he lose his mind? He's doing something terrible. What is the sketches he's doing? And he's been harshly criticized. And you know what happened? He didn't care. What happened afterwards? A new art form has been born due to his child artist mind. Cubism was only born because he tried something new. He dared to try. He had a growth mindset. He had a learner mindset. I think he deserves to be remembered as he is. Just one example, you might like the guy as a person or you don't, but I love the strategy. He lived all his life like this. Throughout all his life, if he found something really successful, he didn't care for it. It was a huge success. He said, what's next? What are we going to do? What's the next big thing going to be? So this is the learner mindset. This is the childlike idea moving towards life. If you do something and it's really good. It's time that you should go out and start looking for something else. Just figure out what's the next big thing. Just briefly about the beautiful book by Carol Dweck. I suggest that you go through the book, many examples on parenting, on relations, what's a fixed mindset, what's a growth mindset, also on business. I'm going to brief you, just give you a quick glance what she's talking about. Throughout the book, she says, within your children, if you're raising children, do never praise intelligence, just praise the effort. Praise the effort. You're successful because you worked hard and you got the result. What have you tried so far? What can you try next? Try new strategies. Seek input from others. This is sort of a brief resume of the book. And this is a nice drawing. I love it. It gives you a clear idea what's a fixed mindset and what's a growth mindset. Obstacles, they exist in life. Are you going to avoid them? Or are you going to see them as a stepping stone? Success of others. Will you be threatened by the other people's successes? Or will you look at them as an example? Oh, he did this. What can I learn from this? Maybe I'm going to find something else on top of this and I'm going to be successful as well. With the fixed mindset, they try to avoid feedback, critical, harsh feedback, negative feedback. But with every feedback, there are the clues that shows you the way, actually. With the growth mindset, criticism, learn from it. Challenges, embracing them. Challenges, avoiding them. We're going to be talking about avoiding challenges or embracing them. Failures, embracing them. I suggest that you listen to this from Michael Caine himself, but it's just a 90 seconds YouTube video. Just go on YouTube and see how he's talking about it. First time he started acting, his master taught him how to act on stage on the improvisation. Life is a stage and stage is life. And he goes, there was this obstacle and my master was yelling at me, use the difficulty, use the difficulty. What happens in life? There's difficulty. Are you going to use it or avoid it? If there's a difficulty, it's there to teach you something. Just dance with it, as Alan Watts is telling us. Use the difficulty. A perfect example, I'm going to give two examples on a growth mindset. I don't know, anybody knows this guy in the room? Yeah? He's now approaching 90. In 3 years' time, he's going to be 90. Last year, he got his pilot license. This is 2015 and he's 79. For the first time in his life, he's on stage. Life was not easy. Growing up in China, village, 12 children, one of them, 14 years old, riding a tram as a conductor. Always interested in like acting, mime. He was on the street like, you know, the pose, concrete artist. He's the first one to start it in China, painting himself and being a concrete artist. He was always in performance. But he's still active and he's like referred as the sexiest grandpa in the planet. This is a Turkish guy. I love him. I admire him. Unbelievable success story. I showed you 3 books. One of them is Growth Mindset. One of them is Judger versus Learner. And one of them is Multiplier. Definitely he has this growth mindset. Definitely he's a learner. And definitely he's a multiplier. He didn't know how to read and write. A village in Anatolia. 20 Turkish lira. He goes to Ankara. Cleans the toilet. Finds a job in a cafe. Starts working, works his way out. First time going to London, he goes by bus. He was able to spare some money to go to London. And without knowing English. What happens now? 2011, he gets this worldwide rewards on catering industry, like his restaurants are unbelievable. There are more than 50 people who has actually worked with him and now running restaurants and they are millionaires. He's a multiplier. He also created leaders from his restaurant. It's like a school. Universities in United Kingdom are sending their students and they're just learning inside the restaurants he's managing and he's leading. It's an unbelievable success story and definitely a growth mindset. Anybody knows the restaurant? Been there? I don't know. I was just... If you go to London, just try to visit his restaurant. Oh. Yeah, you know the story, right? Anybody want to tell the story? Yes? No? Action? I'm going to tell this story to you. There was this young child, and the shore was washed with thousands of starfish, and he was picking them one by one and trying to send them back to the sea. And there was this old man with his judger mindset criticizing him. What are you doing, kiddo? Can't you see there are thousands of them? What's going to happen? What did he do? He goes down, shows this to the old man. Say this, it mattered for this one. Do something. It mattered for this one. This one is for you. Thank you for listening. Action. What does this stand for? Action changes things. It's all about action. If you want to change yourself, get out there and do something. You be useful. Get out there and do something. Don't try to be interesting. Try to be interested in the people. That's how things are going to go. Action is the key. Repetition is the remedy. And I want you to act now. This is what I would like to talk about the creative quality of one fine mind. Now I'm switching on the second topic. Let's see what adaptive mind, the quality of being adaptable, being adaptive is going to tell us in my way of understanding life. Again, a quick story. A Japanese village far away, there's this young girl. She gets pregnant and gives birth to a child, and the mother and the father, the parents, they go crazy. The father, and they're just pushing the girl aside. Who's the father? Who's the father? And then the girl points to the house up on the hill, the monk living in isolation. His name is Hakuin. And the grandfather is furious, takes the baby, newborn baby, it's a baby girl, walks up on the hill with his daughter and knocks on the door and tells Hakuin, "This is your baby. Take it." Hakuin says, "Is that so?" He takes the baby, closes the door. Then time passes. 1 year later, the father went to the big city to make money. He was a poor fisherman, and he was willing to get married with this girl. He didn't know that she was pregnant, and he comes after 1 year. Guess what happens? The father and the mother of the baby, they go up on the hill, knock on the door of Hakuin. Bam, 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 and Hakuin opens. "Please, we're begging you. You have our daughter. Give it to us." And Hakuin says, "Is that so?" And he delivers the baby and closes his door. Life, the great master, I'm going to keep talking about this, is delivering you babies constantly, trying to tell you something, trying to teach you something. Are you going to accept the baby or reject it? Be adaptive. Remember, we're in the adaptive quality of the one fine mind. Let's adapt to the situation, get the baby. The baby is ours. No? Constantly offering lessons. Say yes to the world. In March, I was in Hamburg, and I had this beautiful coach who was trying to teach me how to act in front of the camera. This one clue, he said. Okay, there's the room, there's the camera, and you're going to go there, and the shooting gonna start. What's your first preparation? He said, say yes. Enter the room. Say yes to the camera. Say yes to the walls. Say yes to the ground. Say yes to everyone and every piece in the room. Be there. Wake up. Say yes to the world. No? Be adaptive. Imagine you have a law degree in United Kingdom. You're riding on a train for a business trip, and they are treating you badly. And you decide to transform your life in this incident, instantly, at the snap of a finger. He was a lawyer, and he said, okay, that's it. Life is offering me something. Life is giving me a baby, and I'm going to grow this baby. Silent revolution. They didn't have guns. They were just walking towards the people with guns. No, no guns, no war. And he was able to found a nation. There's this path. It's your path and yours alone. People can walk with you, but no one will walk it for you. It's your path, yours alone. No one can walk it for you. It's again from Rumi. I love the quote. Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi. One sentence about success coming from the 60s, from United States, Earl Nightingale. I love this and I will never stop talking about this sentence. Enough with the commercials. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal or goal. If you have a worthy ideal or goal, you're going to go walk for it. Obstacles come what may. Challenges come what may. Delivering babies, life is delivering, but bring it on, baby. And just one quote, he died 50 years ago when I was a kid. It was a big thing when he died. He's also a Sufi master. He's a Turkish poet, folk singer, Aşık Veysel. And this is a translation of one of his songs, like lyrics of his songs. On a long and narrow path, I'm going day and night. Rumi says, when you start walking, the path will open. If you have a worthy ideal or goal, you'll follow through day and night. Come what may. 20 miles a day. 20 miles a day. There are articles, books about this expedition. It was an expedition, but it was also a competition racing towards South Pole. Two teams. Who was going to be the first ever to reach the South Pole? I would say he was a multiplier leader, Amundsen. He set a goal every day. Repetition is the key, 20 miles a day. And if it was 20 miles and if it was still early, they put up the camp. If it was very windy and snowy and stormy, they were trying to reach that 20 miles, but when night comes, they were stopping. They didn't go 30 miles a day because it was easy. Because the road was so long, it was like a marathon. It was just one team, and he was showing one direction. Less talk, more walk. They had the worthy ideal or goal. So they were going to be the first team ever to put their flag on the South Pole. Can you imagine the goal? It was a tough journey. The other team competing lost people, unfortunately, but I hope they had fun along the journey. It's time for my second book for this talk. I love it, and it's called Multipliers. It's about being a multiplier leader. Just to give you an idea with a quick imagination. Imagine you're in a room and you're holding a meeting one-on-one with a person and you meet him for the first time in your life. 30 minutes or so, the meeting is ending and you go out and think, oh, the person I met in this meeting maybe is the smartest person in the world. The next meeting is waiting for us. Again, the first time in your life you see someone, one-on-one meeting, you spend half an hour, you leave the meeting room, and you go out and you start thinking, oh, can I be the smartest person in the world? This is actual multiplier leader with the second meeting. And I hope you would want to be a participant in this meeting. Let's take a look quickly. Who are diminishers? They underuse talent. They suppress thinking. They are Mr. Know-it-all or Mrs. Know-it-all, I'm sorry. And they tell people what to do. They make decisions themselves. They are micromanagers. The world is full of micromanagers. Actual story, my personal experience. I was the assistant general manager, CFO of a public company. There was this CEO. It was a crucial meeting, strategic meeting. We were with the other assistant general managers and also middle-level managers. There were maybe 20, 25 of us in the room. We were discussing about the topic. And maybe 30 minutes later, he showed up, the CEO. And something was written on the whiteboard. He got the eraser without saying hi. He knows what we're discussing about. He erased what we have spoken. And he got the pen and he started writing down. And he said, first of all, forget what you have discussed in the last 30 minutes. So he was a diminisher for sure. He didn't care about his people, and he wasn't using our capacity for sure. If you are a multiplier leader, I told it at the beginning, and I'm going to keep repeating it. We all have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. We are all judges by nature and learners. We are all diminishers by nature and multipliers. Let's be aware. Let's try to balance the learner mindset. Let's try to increase the growth mindset a bit up. Let's try to be more multiplier than a diminisher. What do multipliers do? They attract talent. They make them think. They coach them. They debate before deciding. They don't say, this is what you're going to do. And they give ownership and accountability. What they get in return, twice the capacity. What is it good for? For everyone. For each and every individual and for the company, for the society. Embrace failure. To be adaptive, we have to embrace failure. Possibly you heard this one. But I like controversial thinking. Most probably I'm going to show you something you haven't thought about. They always say failure is a stepping stone to success, okay? And Jeff Bezos himself, this is an interview with him, it's on internet, you can Google it. November 2018, he actually said Amazon will fail. Obviously, I am the newspaper guy making this headline, but when you go in the interview, he goes, I know that someday Amazon will fail, and I'm spending most of my time trying to extend the life of Amazon. I'll show you the slide. Personal, disrupt, and new self. He's trying to come up with something new. Who's aware of Amazon Web Services? They're not selling books. Do you know how much % of their revenue is coming from Amazon Web Services? It's always increasing. Last time I checked, it was 25%. It's going up. They're not an online retailer. They're always trying to come with something new. Otherwise, they're going to go extinct. Otherwise, Amazon is going to fail, as he said. So do not hold on to success. There comes my controversial thing. I hope you like it. A stepping stone to failure is success, in my opinion. And I'm going to close my talk with this one. This is Indra Nooyi from Pepsi Cola, 13 years CEO of Pepsi. This is from a preface of an innovation book. She was writing the preface of an innovation book. At the time, she was running CEO of, she was the CEO of Pepsi Cola. This is what she's saying, actually. Every company, for them, their existence is from their past success. But the threat for them to go extinct is, again, from their past success. Every enterprise that has enjoyed great success is both sustained and endangered by all that it has learned in the past. We have to unlearn what we have learned. You heard of it, I guess. Any idea what this is? Bird's eye view or a helicopter view. We have to go up and see things as they are. Are we doing the right things? We are doing the things right. Famous quote from Peter Drucker. But are we doing the right things? Helicopter view. Now and then we have to check. And this is my final slide with adaptive mind. I'm on the third and the last pillar of my talk. We talked about a creative mind, we talked about an adaptive mind, and now it's time for the thing I love the most. Having a positive mind as a quality. If you are so creative, and if you're so successful, working hard efficiently, you're not going to do anything unless you yourself is positive and you're broadcasting positivity. So we have to be bearing the quality of positivity. Anyone knows Sir Ken Robinson in the room? Wonderful. I strongly recommend you just go on TED Talks. It was the most watched TED Talk ever for quite some time. And the topic is how schools kill creativity. And in that talk, there was this short story, and I'm going to share it with you now. There's this young girl, kindergarten girl, and she's in the drawing class, and she's drawing something, and the teacher is approaching her, asking her, "What are you drawing, dear?" And she goes, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the teacher says, nobody knows what God looks like. And the girl responds, they will in a minute. Beautiful. No fear. No fear from failure, and positive and creative mindset. It's a beautiful story. I love telling it. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Is there anyone in the room who thought, oh, I'm a bit bad with drawing, and dropped the pen, dropped the painting, and never draw anything again? I see many kids right now because they don't want to draw. Because, oh, they're always judging. And we're teaching our children at a very early age. They criticize themselves. I cannot draw, and he or she stops drawing when he's a baby or a kindergarten child. What would you do if you weren't afraid? I love the guy. I'm not going to talk about him, but he's a crazy guy. He always tries. In his personal life, he tried many things. He had many accidents. Do one thing every day that scares you. And I love Seth Godin. If you're not following him, I strongly suggest that you enroll on his email subscription. Just go. Because every day, he's such a brilliant guy. Just very short ideas. Very intelligent, very clever, and you cannot find them elsewhere. He's very creative, definitely. If it scares you, it might be a good thing to try. He's always carrying this childlike mentality, beginner's mind. Third book, last book for today, Judger versus Learner. Are you a judger by nature, or are you a learner by nature? There are questions in this book. There are 12 questions, and I'm going to show you again a nice map now. And these questions, if you can just, I'm going to read them quickly, but if you can just contemplate for yourselves, those questions, do they resonate with you? If they resonate, are you using them? Not speaking out loud, but in your mind. Do you use these questions? Beware of your mind. I'm going to finish with your mind's dungeon soon, but beware of your mind. So there are two mindsets according to this book. One is a learner mindset and one is a judger mindset. I tell you always, we're all judges by nature and we want to be more on the learner path. If you go with the learner mindset path, try to reach the top of the mountain, these are the beautiful questions. What happened? What do I want? What are the facts? What assumptions am I making? What can I learn out of this? What are they thinking, feeling, wanting? What am I responsible for? What are my best choices? What's the best to do now? What's possible? Just use them as a meeting opener in your meetings. Just use these questions and see how positive your meetings are going to transform. If you're with the judger mindset, you start with judging yourself and others. Unbelievable. Whose fault is it? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? Why am I such a failure? Why bother? And you end up with the judger pit. Catch yourself. You can lie to me, you can lie to everyone, but please do not lie to yourself and assess yourself as you are. Talk to yourself as you would to someone you love. Who in the room has children, young, grown up? How much patient were you when they were growing up or right now? Or your nephews, kids. We have patience with them. We have patience with the loved ones. Are we showing the same patience to ourselves? Tame the inner critic. Self-critic is good. I think I'm coming to this one. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. For self-truth to truth, it's always important to have the self-critic mind. But it has to be balanced with the self-compassion. There has to be a balance. We have to know the facts. I have to think and see my faults. I have to go and ask the people what are my faults. To people I trust. I have to get who in the room has got coaching in his life, her life. Anyone? Yeah. We have to go and ask because we are blind to ourselves. My famous question comes right now. I cannot stop saying it. Who are we lying the most? Self-deceit. There is self-deceit. Maybe it's only me. I'm lying to myself or deceiving myself. I hope you're not having that. But self-deceit is quite important. So if you don't have a healthy critic inside, then you're deceiving yourself. Life. Now, here it comes. is a beautiful servant. Most probably you heard this phrase. If you are using it wisely, it's the best instrument in the world. A beautiful servant and a dangerous master. Your mind. I hope that your mind is not your master. I hope that it's serving you. It has to be this way. I'm talking with the kids right now. I'm telling them, who's talking? Who's thinking? Can you stop your thinking? Talk to them like this. It's interesting. They say, my mind. Who is your mind? Just, it's tough, huh? Anyone who loves Sherlock? Yes? No? In one of the episodes, I love him, by the way. Yeah, not all his movies, but with the Sherlock character, he was perfectly fine. In one of the episodes, Dr. Watson was approaching Sherlock, and he was at the time meditating, like sitting like this, and and Dr. Watson tells him, Sherlock, what are you up to? And he goes, I'm in the palace of my mind. Are you in the palace of your mind, or are you in the dungeons of your mind? Are you torturing yourself? Stop the torture. Stop the overly self-critic. Huh? So let's switch on the palace and use this instrument perfectly. See through the eyes of compassion. Listen with ears of tolerance. Speak with the language of love. Who said this? I've been using his quotes throughout the speech. Again, a beautiful quote from Rumi. I'm approaching towards the end. Only a few slides, chat, and I'm going to end up with a personal story of mine. Passion, compassion, and joy. We want to be positive, and these are the engines. This is what it is. Personal and professional passion. Compassion to myself and to others. Joy, inside and outside. If I do all of them, then I have a positive mindset. Then I am a multiplier. Then I am a learner, and I have got a growth mindset. As I said, I'm approaching towards the end. My master Socrates, on his deathbed, he told us, I cannot teach anyone anything. I can only make them think. I've got one story to tell, and I hope I was able to make you think. Let's see now. Goodbye, master. Whatever you've heard throughout this talk, if it's garbage, just take out the trash. Just take out the trash. Whatever you have compiled in your lives, if this is your life thinking, take out the trash. We have to be fresh and fresh and fresh. A beautiful metaphor from, he went a bit sort of mindful, Jim Carrey, the famous actor. You cannot find it on internet. This was from a speech with him. A friend of mine was there. He says, every night I'm cleaning my plate because the morning after I'm going to have fresh fruits on my clean plate. Every day is going to bring you babies, fruits, challenges. Your plate has to be clean and neat. Do not carry the past. Take out the trash. You must unlearn. Master Yoda, may the force be with you. For those of you Star Wars fans in the room, you must unlearn what you have learned. My final story. I live in an old district in Istanbul. And for those of you living in Istanbul know it. For those of you who are not from Istanbul, they have these push carts. It's called in Turkish eskici. I tried to translate it. It's like a junk dealer. And they have these trolleys, push carts, wooden, old. And they go at home and they bargain the trash at home. Eskici. And it's funny, like they just shout, eskiler alıyorum, eskici. This is what they like yell in the street. You open up, come on, I got some trash to give you. One day, this was March 2019, I was looking outside the window and one was approaching, one eskici, junk dealer was approaching from this direction and the other one was coming from this direction. And I'm trying to see what's going on. And I'm looking at them. And what's interesting here is they intersected precisely right in front of me. So one going this direction, one going the other direction, but right in front of me, they were together, going on different directions. Enough with the Sherlock. For a while that day, because the day after I was going to deliver a speech on creativity, and I had the chance to, privilege to think and contemplate. This is telling me something. And I said, I used it the next day, and I keep using it till now. To one of the junk dealers going this direction, I delivered my failures, my mistakes of my past, and said goodbye. This is easy, to get rid of all the burdens. Oh, well, now we have a relief, huh? Oh yes, I'm free from failures and past mistakes. What did I give to the second one going on the other direction? I delivered the second junk dealer my past successes, my past victories. What's in the past is in the past. Do not hold on to your successes and do not carry your failures. We are today and we are looking forward with a positive state of mind. I hope you're going to take out the trash, and tomorrow morning you're going to start with a clean plate in front of you. Thank you.